Let me make this absolutely clear. People have been asking me to speak about polygamy because I've actually done it. And I was actually taught by somebody wise enough that was a woman. And I will not ever do that again. Understand, when you are in polygamy, when you have a real man to do polygamy, it's not about the sex with him. Polygamy was not created for men to have multiple chicks and act like they were pimps. See, a lot of men have forgot who the original goddess was, which was the African woman who was able to give birth without men in the first place. If you think I'm lying, read a book. I'm not going to tell you what books you should read, what insight you should know. Tap into your Ori and your higher self. They'll expose certain things, including your ancestors. You should be knowing this as a grown man or woman at this point, because the way that y'all insult the culture is very disturbing. The African woman was the first god to come here, which made her a goddess. Because a lot of our African women have lost themselves and their entitlement, now they're calling themselves bad negative witches, which is bitchs, which insults the crown and the Ori on your head. You know why a lot of things have been shown and why they want the African woman's womb so much. It's because we have that gene that can reproduce like other animals without the male gene. The problem is that it was more difficult and took a lot more energy and life force to do it. So we needed to have a man. Now, certain tribes actually, even in the States, because not everybody's ancestors traveled from the boat, some of us was already here in the States and the islands and everywhere else. So that's why I say you need to learn about slavery, because you'll find out that certain things weren't the truth the way that people exposed it. Now, once the woman decided, it was a group of women in this village that would decide on one man. But all these women worked together and they also had the same type of gifts in different ways. They were very powerful women. But this select group decided on the man, not the man deciding on the women. Because if you notice, a lot of the men that decide with the other women, they end up giving you BV and other stuff that do not work with your essence. The main reason why women decided is because they had to see if they can work with the other woman and if the other woman can be as strong and non-judgmental and jealous and envious and chaotic, especially if she was a woman of substance. These are women that actually worked together and made a sisterhood and a bond. They only used the man to give birth. Sorry to bust your bubbles, a lot of guys that have ego, but yet not sorry. That means that these women knew how to cook together, clean together, start their businesses together. But see, here's the one thing. The man knew how to take care of all the women financially. So when the women did add their money to the pots, it was for them, the kids, and the spouse that actually contribute and took care of all these women. Stop being fooled about these brothers that's sitting up here telling you false advertisement. There is certain women that are not supposed to do polygamy because their energy is too strong and she's a full goddess on her own. The other ones that were supposed to do polygamy were women that shared energy with their own sisterhood that wanted to share one man. So understand, It's not for everybody. Stop trying to brainwash for everybody. And then two, the man that they choose did not have a whole roster of women. This man knew how to practice semen retention. This man had discipline. This man was a whole God in his right because he would not settle for any type of woman. And all the women that he dealt with was greatness and of good character that represented a moral about themselves. So it is very disappointing to see men that pick a lot of the women and the mistresses that they mess with. How dare you? How dare do you mess with our DEA? How do you mess with ourselves? Manipulate the first vessel that the universe gives you to come through. I'm not talking to the gods that understand how to take care of their woman. I'm not even talking about the man that knows how to take care of a woman when she's on her cycle, because men are supposed to do that too. But hey, society, still has a lot of our people working underneath the Willie Lynch programming. Y'all are still kicking your kids out as soon as they get out of high school, thinking it's okay for them to go to college and work for the prison system. A lot of our goddesses are so brainwashed and still allowing the system to ejaculate on their relationships and do this child support. Yeah. So you go right ahead. The non-righteous ones. Peace.